TOEFL Speaking Task 2 asks you to make a choice between two things. For this type of question, you have 15 seconds to read and make a plan, and then 45 seconds to speak. This is very similar to the first task because you have the same amount of planning time, the same amount of speaking time, and the strategy that we're going to give you to go through answering is very similar as well. For this question, you will be presented with two options. You need to make a choice, explain why that's your choice, and then wrap up. So the steps that you're going to want to do here are 1, state your opinion, 2, state 2 to 3 reasons why that's your opinion, and 3, wrap up. Now, the main strategy that we recommend when you're practicing for this type of question is to practice speaking in 45-second chunks. Because these two question types ask you to speak for that long, sometimes you can get nervous on the test and start speaking too quickly or not be sure exactly how long you've been speaking for. So it's our recommendation that you take some time as you're preparing for the TOEFL and time yourself speaking for 45 seconds. Get a feel for how long that is, and it becomes second nature to where you'll be able to just automatically know, okay, this feels about right. This was 45 seconds. Let's get practicing with this specific example. This example says, many people think that students study course materials more effectively by taking exams, while others think that students learn more effectively through doing other activities like completing projects. Which one do you think is more effective? Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do here is make your choice. Let's break down this question into what it's really asking. So we know we're talking about students and how they study. Now, the question is, how effectively do they study? Is it more by taking exams, or is it completing other activities like projects? The great part about this question is that you have a lot of experience with this, and you probably already have an opinion ready to go. You are a student, even if you're just studying for the TOEFL right now, so you already know how do you feel that the best way to study is. They also give you a good vocabulary word for you to make use of here. So to get started, the best way to state what you're thinking, what your opinion is for these kinds of questions, is to use the vocabulary I prefer or I think. Because the point of this question is to make a choice between two things and state what your opinion is. Now remember, this is your opinion, so don't worry about choosing the wrong one. There's no wrong opinion here. As long as you are able to effectively use correct vocabulary and grammar and confidently use the language, then it doesn't matter which one you choose. What the test scorers are looking for here is your ability to create a full answer with clear ideas. The good news is also on this part of the test, they're going to be choosing topics that are familiar to you. Like we said, studying is definitely familiar to you, and all this vocabulary should be pretty comfortable for you to work with. The last thing I want to note before we dive into the practice answer for this question are a few vocabulary words. Natural connecting words to use you can sprinkle into your answer to make it sound like you are speaking naturally, because that's the point of this kind of test question. They allow you to sound like a real native speaker would. Instead of just listing number 1, number 2, number 3, when you connect your ideas with natural connecting words, you will sound head and shoulders above someone who doesn't use these kinds of words. So let's dive in. For this question, which one do we want to choose? I'd say let's choose projects to practice here. So as we said, you first want to state your opinion. So our opinion is that students learn more effectively by completing projects or other activities. Now let's choose 2 reasons why. First reason, practice what they have learned. And second reason, prepare them for real life. And then finally, we're going to want to wrap up our ideas by restating our opinion. So let's see how this sounds. And as we go through this practice answer, we'll be sure to use I prefer or I think and some natural connecting words. So for example, I think that students study course materials more effectively by completing projects or other activities. I think this because they are able to practice what they have learned, and this sort of practice will prepare them for real life more than an exam would. For those reasons, I think that students study course materials more effectively by doing activities and completing projects. So there's a strong practice answer where you have stated your opinion, given 2 solid reasons why that's your opinion, and wrapped up. We used some natural connecting words, and we had a strong start and casual but helpful vocabulary. Remember, you can always look to the question itself to give you some strong vocabulary words like effectively, and this also saves you time in planning. The final thought I'll leave you with here is some students feel like they want to try to memorize answers before they go into the test. We do not recommend memorizing specific answers because it'll never sound natural. So for the strategy for this kind of question, like I said in the beginning, practice speaking in 45-second periods and time yourself, and watch as many videos as you can like this one, and now practice on your own. Great job.